Hi, this is Tay, and today I'm going to break down what Qigong is. It's a Chinese version of yoga that's been around for thousands of years, and people use different terms to describe Qigong. Things like Tai Chi, meditation, martial arts, and so forth. However, from my perspective, from a Qigong perspective, there's a unique way to go about doing things. And for those who practice yoga, you might really want to pay attention to this because it will give you a better understanding of how you can do whatever it is that you're doing when it comes to yoga, personal training, dance, and all of these things together. Because from my study in the past 20 years, I've come to know that I have not found a better platform to understand what you're doing when it comes to physical activities. Okay, so first, the word qi. And then Gong is okay. So you hear the word, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And these are pictures. This is rice in a pot where steam is rising. And this means work. So energy, work, skill, or cultivation, or sometimes understood as achievement. So the word energy work is what Qigong means. In order to do Qigong, before I get there, it's divided into three major branches. One is medical Qigong, martial Qigong, and spiritual Qigong. Okay. So medical Qigong, you can do these breathing things like Wim Hof. A lot of people focus their practice, or what the society today in 2020 is thinking is when they do yoga practices is medical Qigong. They want to get some sort of health benefit like stretching, exercise, breath work, and so forth. So things like that. Martial Qigong are people who are practicing some sort of martial arts, whether it is Taekwondo, Aikido, or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, or Capoeira, or whatever physical exercise that you may be engaged into. Spiritual Qigong is often not discussed out in the general practice, and this is not something I'm going to touch upon, but I'll talk about it more in future time. So what Qigong really does for people is that it encompasses three different things. You need to have your mind, your breath, and body together. And by doing these three things, you're able to do the medical aspect of it, the martial aspect of it, and the spiritual aspect of it. Okay, so you hear things like mind, body, and spirit, mind, body, and spirit, mind, body, and spirit. But when I ask people, what does that mean? A lot of people cannot elaborate on this fact. And having known this, I ask a lot of, yoga practitioners or martial artists. They know these concepts, but they cannot break it down, meaning they cannot discuss how these things relate to one another. And in my education, I found that these three things work in the purpose of medical aspects of it. So first, let's divide the mind and the body, the mind into conscious and then subconscious. Body into relaxation and strengthening. Breath, inhale and exhale. So Tom and I just started a 10-week course on breath work because it boosts up the immune system, considering what's going on with COVID-19 and so forth. So we're doing this breath work based on the Wim Hof method. And you breathe a certain way, and it has scientifically shown to boost up your immune system, decrease mucus, and decrease inflammation. Now, for the purpose of the breath, how does that affect the mind? So, conscious, and there's subconscious. So when I'm walking around, just doing my normal activities, I'm breathing, but I'm not thinking about that I'm breathing, right? Right. Now, if I was to do the Wim Hof method, I need to sit down or pay attention or bring my attention so that I can breathe a certain way for an extended period of time to do a certain exercise. And that is called conscious breathing. So the consciousness is now connecting to the mind. Before it gets all jumbled up. Breath and body. Conscious, subconscious. Inhale, exhale. Body is relaxation. Stretching, strengthening. Inhale, exhale, and holding breath. Conscious, subconscious flow, and there is focus. Okay. So, in order to do the Wim Hof method, the conscious part of the mind has to do this exercise. Now, what you do with your body, for those people who did the first class, you were laying down. And you're in a relaxed state. Now, thing is, you have to, when you're engaged in all three aspects of it, this is where the chi really is. Now, if you go to your yoga class and you're doing all of these things with your body, you're getting into your posture and movement. And you're subconsciously breathing. You're not really focused, right? When do you inhale? When do you exhale? You're not really paying attention to those things. We hear your breath. Right? And what is it that you're thinking with your mind? So if you're thinking about in yoga class and you're holding this posture and you're not really paying attention to your breathing, you're engaged in subconscious breathing, and then you're thinking about, okay, what am I going to do right after this class? Your mind can go into the past, present, and the future. Therefore, you're not in the present moment with your mind. you're thinking about, what am I going to do after this class? What's my shopping list? Or what bills do I got to pay? Or someone said this to me in the past. Then you're not really doing Qigong. Because the teacher who's teaching you this type of exercise needs to show you your mind, your body, and your breath as a singular unified practice. And if they're not giving you those instructions, then you're not practicing Qigong. So in order to do Qigong, you need to consciously engage, you need to pay attention to every single breath, and you need to pay attention to what you're doing to your body. So one prime example, Wim Hof method. You're inhaling, you're exhaling, you're consciously counting, and your body is relaxing. Later on, as we dive into more of doing this, we're going to make it much harder to breathe and hold different types of mind structures. In other words, can you hold a mental posture for your mind to be happy? Can you concentrate just on one thing? For example, the number one. Can you just sit there and close your eyes and think of the number one and draw the number one and breathe? If you're not breathing and you're just thinking about the number one, you're only engaging about 66% of the actual potential of Qigong. Right. Now, if you're able to hit this target, you're able to get a lot more what they call Qi. This is not a lecture about Qi, but I'll just briefly touch on it. If you start engaging in Qi, you can, one of the key aspects of it is that it can transform your state, your present state. So, smiling. If you smile with your lips, it looks very fake. But if you smile with your eyes, even though my mouth is actually frowning, I seem happier. So the real smile comes from your eyes. So if I sit there and smile with my eyes and breathe into my maximum capacity, my body's in a relaxed state. I'm now engaged in the Qi of happiness. And for those who are watching, you can try this to see how you feel. And you can start engaging in what that actually feels like. All right. In the 1 through 10 classes, number 1 was a practice of the Wim Hof method, right? 2, we're going to see how that breathing exercise can have a physical impact on your body, because you're gaining more Qi to transform, to go beyond your limitations of your body. Three, we did the exercise of what they call harmonizing 5 phases. So one prime example is that I'm moving my body, I'm breathing, breath in, and for those people who are trying to learn how to do this, when they come to the class for the first time, you're actually paying attention to the person who's instructing you so that you can mimic their movements. So your mind is trying to consciously learn what's happening. And then you're trying to memorize what they're doing while copying the postures and breathing a certain way. But eventually, you'll get to a state where you 100% memorize the thing, where you no longer have to think about what you're doing, just going to the next moment. In your body, you have memorized the physical movements, you're breathing a certain way. When you get there, is that I'm able to think certain things because I'm not trying to learn these movements. I memorized it, and therefore I don't need to watch somebody as they do it. So when you get to that state when you learn something and you're able to practice Qigong, for example, I am imagining in my mind that the ashes are falling in this state. And over here in this movement, my body is transforming into crystals where I'm picking up the crystals. And then my body turns to water. So a lot of people who's been into meditation, you learn the concept of what they call visualization. And that is the flow and focus, which is part of your conscious part of your mind. So in the upcoming classes, I want to talk about mind, body, and breath. Mind, body, breath. Mind, body, breath. And for those who are watching this video, now you know when you go to a yoga studio or a martial arts teacher, you can gauge the level of the person who is teaching you this. Are they only teaching you physical body movements? And if they're teaching you how to do the breath, then perhaps you're getting a lot more for your buck. Because are they teaching you how to coordinate the movements? So in Tai Chi, a lot of Tai Chi teachers, they teach the movements. But when are you supposed to breathe? So the way I was taught is breath in. My breath dictates my movements. And as I exhale, breath in, breath out. Mess it up. So breath in, breathe out, breath in, breathe out. Well, you get the idea. And then, what is it that I'm thinking that I'm trying to do these things? Right. So, as I travel, China, Thailand, all around the U.S., meeting various teachers in yoga and qigong, there aren't that many people who teach mind, body, and your breath. For those people who go to Better Body Boot Camp, you go to your body. They may or may not talk about the breath, and if you're exerting, you may be breathing faster, but you're not consciously thinking about it. You're still in this subconscious mode. Mind, you could be in the present moment doing these exercises, keeping count of how many reps you're doing, what your body is feeling, but are people directing what you do with your mind when you're doing these things? All right, and this is where a lot of Qigong components become. And I would like to emphasize on the fact that I've met many yoga teachers. When I talk about these components, they don't break it down like this. And I have not met any yoga teachers. If there are, please reach out to me. I would love to talk to you because I do have a lot of questions. But only in the medical Qigong component do they break it down, every aspect of it. I got a friend named Giuliano. He is learning innately Kendo really fast compared to other people who are learning it together. And not that, I don't think he knows all of this consciously, maybe he knows it subconsciously, innately. However, he breaks down the breath, the body movements, and the key component is slow movements. Slow, doing things slow. In the beginning, when you're trying to learn something, generates stability. Eventually, gives you strength, speed. It doesn't give you everything. It doesn't give you stretching, gives you flexibility. Or yoga gives you flexibility. Or what the Chinese call the Dao Yin exercises. Dao Yin is like allowing things to flow. So if there was a water in the sand, by me digging, the water is flowing to where I'm digging. So therefore I'm guiding. And stretching is kind of like that. By stretching certain areas, the blood can't go there, but the minute I relax, blood is now able to get in there. Okay. Because we're trying to talk about the 10 classes of the breath, inhale, exhale, holding the breath, breathing slowly, breathing fast. And if you do certain exercises with your breath, it connects the mind, and then it connects the body, and then it connects the breath. So whether you're doing meditation, martial arts, or the Wim Hof method, you have to engage in some sort of aspect of a starting point. So we're going to start with the breath because it is 101. In future classes, as you get down to the road, we're going to talk about how you can breathe a certain way and hold different postures. So once again, there is a concept where if you are feeling happy, that feeling gives you a posture. So in the mind, you have a feeling, you're happy, and that happiness is translating to your body, and the body gives you a smiling posture. Or if you're not feeling happy, perhaps if you hold a real smile and think happy thoughts, can you hold that image of something being happy and holding a smile to change your breath? So what that translates into is, if I stand like this without changing anything on my face, how do I make you feel by me being in this position? So think about that. It's not only how I feel inside me being in this posture, is how I'm affecting the people who is watching me, right? However, if I walk into a room, I'm not changing any facial features on my face, I give you a sense that I am confident, that I know what I'm doing, compared to a person who is like this. So the posture not only affects your mind, but the people, this is another person, another triangle, would affect that. Okay. So if you have any questions, please hit like, subscribe, and make a comment below, and I will answer any relevant questions. So hope to see you in the next time. And I'll try to pump out these videos more often, especially during these things. And thank you. Bye-bye.